Oh my God!
Oh, goodness gracious me.
He scored 4 goals, so...
I mean, you are the first player to score 4 in a Premier League game. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's a good start.
What if I told you that the Premier League's ice-cold sensation isn't just good, but potentially legendary? A player so gifted, he's drawing comparisons to one of the greatest footballers of all time. But here's the scary part. He might be even better. This is the untold story of Cole Palmer, the rising star that's got everyone talking, and the shocking truth that nobody seems to notice. In the world of football, comparisons are thrown around like confetti, but when a young player starts getting likened to Dennis Bergkamp, one of Arsenal's most iconic players, you know something special is happening. That's exactly what's been going on with Chelsea's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer has been setting the Premier League ablaze with his exceptional performances for Chelsea since his move from Manchester City. His recent record-breaking 4-goal spectacle in the first half against Brighton has catapulted him into the spotlight. But this isn't just hype or media exaggeration. The similarities between Palmer and Bergkamp are striking. From their technical abilities and vision to their overall game sense, it's as if Bergkamp's spirit has found a new vessel in the form of this young Chelsea star. But it's not just goals that are turning heads, it's the way he plays. His vision, his touch, his ability to control the game. Sound familiar? It should, because these are the very qualities that made Bergkamp a legend. Let's rewind a bit. Cole Palmer's journey to stardom didn't just happen overnight. It started in the youth ranks of Manchester City, a club known for nurturing some of the best talents in English football. But even among the cream of the crop, Palmer stood out. His performances for City's youth teams were consistently impressive. He had this uncanny ability to find space where there seemed to be none, to pick out passes that others couldn't even see. It was clear that this kid was something special. But here's the thing about talent. It's not enough on its own. You need opportunity. And at City, with their star-studded squad, those opportunities were few and far between for young Palmer. Then came the move to Chelsea. It was a bold decision, leaving the comfort of the club he'd grown up with. But it was a decision that would change everything. At Chelsea, Palmer found himself in an environment that was perfect for his development. The club was in a transitional phase, looking to build for the future. They needed young, hungry players who could make an immediate impact. Palmer fit the bill perfectly. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch in Chelsea blue, it was clear that this was a match made in football heaven. Palmer wasn't just playing well, he was running the show. But Palmer isn't just a clone of Bergkamp. He's carving out his own identity, blending the best of the past with his own unique flair. His versatility is remarkable, seamlessly transitioning between roles as a second striker and an attacking midfielder. As the game progresses, can't help but notice how Palmer's presence seems to elevate those around him. His teammates are making better runs, finding more space. It's as if they know that if they get into the right position, Palmer will find them with a pass that defies logic. And then there's the way he handles pressure. In moments when most young players would crumble, Palmer seems to thrive. The bigger the stage, the brighter he shines. It's a quality that's rare in players so young, but one that Bergkamp possessed in spades. But let's talk about that Brighton game. 4 goals in a single half. Something that had never been done before in Premier League history. Palmer didn't just score, he put on a masterclass in finishing. Each goal was a work of art, showcasing different aspects of his incredible skill set. His first goal was all about positioning and anticipation. Palmer ghosted into the box, and when the ball arrived, he struck it with the precision of a surgeon, evading the helpless defender on the line. His second goal showcased his composure under pressure, a penalty awarded in a crucial moment of the game. The weight of expectation could have crushed a lesser player, but Palmer stepped up with the calmness of a seasoned pro. He waited for the keeper to commit, then casually rolled the ball into the opposite corner. It was almost disrespectful how easy he made it look. But Palmer saved the best set piece for his third goal, a free kick that defied physics. From 25 yards out, he whipped the ball over the wall with such precision that it seemed to bend in mid-air. The keeper, helplessly diving, couldn't stop the ball nestling in the top corner of the net. But it was his fourth goal that really showed people what he was all about. An inch-perfect run of the back of the defender and an ice-cold finish to beat the goalkeeper at his near post. It was the kind of goal that goes under the radar, one that managers love. But it wasn't just about the goals. Throughout the game, Palmer's vision and passing were on full display. He was constantly creating chances for his teammates, threading passes through gaps that didn't even seem to exist. One particular through ball split the Brighton defence wide open, leaving everyone wondering how he'd even seen the opportunity. What's truly scary about Palmer's performance is that it didn't feel like a one-off. This wasn't a player getting lucky or having the game of his life. This was a young star announcing himself to the world, showing a level of skill and maturity that belied his years. As the final whistle blew, the stadium erupted in applause. Fans, pundits, and even opponents were left in awe. Palmer had just put in a performance that people would be talking about for the rest of the season. But for those who had been paying attention, this was just confirmation of what they already knew. Cole Palmer was something special. In the post-match interviews, Palmer's confidence and ability shone through. When asked about the free kick goal, he said he hasn't been practicing free kicks, yet he was still able to curl it into the top corner. What a talent. But perhaps the most telling reaction came from his manager. As Palmer spoke to the press, you could see the gleam in his coach's eyes. It was a look that said, "We've got a real gem on our hands here." And who could blame him? In Cole Palmer, Chelsea had found a player who could potentially define their team for years to come. As the dust settled on that incredible performance, the comparisons to Bergkamp grew louder. It wasn't just the goals or the assists, it was the way Palmer played the game. The intelligence, technique, the ability to make the difficult look effortless. These were all hallmarks of Bergkamp's game, and now they were being displayed by this young Chelsea star. But with great performances come great expectations. The challenge for Palmer now would be to maintain this level of play, to show that this wasn't just a flash in the pan. Could he handle the pressure of being labelled the next Bergkamp? Only time would tell. The aftermath of Palmer's 4-goal haul against Brighton was nothing short of seismic. Social media exploded with reactions. Highlight reels were being shared faster than you could say future Ballon d'Or winner, and football fans around the world were suddenly very interested in Chelsea's fixtures. But amidst all the excitement, there was also a sense of disbelief. How could a player so young be this good? Was this just a one-off performance? Or were we witnessing the birth of a new footballing superstar? The pundits were quick to weigh in. Andy Goldstein, never one to shy away from bold predictions, tipped Palmer to become a Ballon d'Or winner in the near future. It was a statement that would have seemed outrageous just a few weeks earlier, but after that performance against Brighton, didn't sound quite so far-fetched. Theo Walcott, a former Arsenal player who had the privilege of playing alongside Bergkamp, was one of the first to draw the comparison. He's got a bit of finesse, Bergkamp, Van Persie about him, and they weren't bad at all. He has grown into his own at Chelsea, and he is the main man. You can't leave him out of any team, and I'm talking about England too. Gary Lineker, another footballing legend, echoed these sentiments. I see there are similarities there in the way he glides across the pitch, his vision, his skill, his finishing. What a talent. He just seems to be completely fearless as well. But here's where things get interesting. While the comparisons to Bergkamp are flattering, they might actually be underselling Palmer's potential. You see, at the same age, Palmer is arguably ahead of where Bergkamp was in his development. Cole Palmer isn't just scoring goals and providing assists. He's controlling the tempo of matches. He's dictating play from midfield, creating chances, and causing havoc for opposition defences. And here's the kicker. He's doing all this in a Chelsea team that's been struggling for consistency. Imagine what he could do in a settled, well-oiled machine. But it wasn't just the pundits who were impressed. Palmer's teammates were equally in awe of his performance. In post-match interviews, they spoke of his composure in training, his work ethic, and his ability to elevate the team's overall performance. One senior player even joked that they might need to start charging Palmer rent for all the space he was living in defenders' heads. Chelsea fans, naturally, were over the moon. Social media was flooded with posts comparing Palmer to club legends of the past. Some even suggested that the club should start planning his statue outside Stamford Bridge. While this was clearly premature, it spoke to the impact Palmer had made in such a short time. Chelsea's coaching staff were quick to try and manage these expectations, emphasizing that Palmer was still a young player with plenty of room for growth. They stressed the importance of nurturing his talent carefully, protecting him from the pressure that comes with sudden stardom. But the cat is out of the bag. Palmer is no longer just a promising youngster. He is a star in the making. Opposing teams have begun to take notice, with managers dedicating more time in their tactical meetings discussing how to contain him. Some even joked that they might need to assign 2 markers to Palmer. Such was his influence on the game. So, what does this all mean for the long term? Well, if Palmer continues on this trajectory, we could be looking at one of the most exciting players of his generation. At Chelsea, the implications are huge. They've struggled to find a consistent goalscorer since Diego Costa left the club. In Palmer, they might have found not just a goalscorer, but a player who can define their style of play for years to come. But it's not just Chelsea who stand to benefit. The England national team will be watching Palmer's progress with keen interest. With Palmer's age profile, Palmer could be the wild card that finally gives England an extra edge in international tournaments. For the Premier League as a whole, Palmer's emergence is a reminder of the incredible talent that exists in English football. At a time when there's concern about the dominance of state-owned clubs and the influx of foreign players, Palmer is proof that homegrown talent can still rise to the top. But perhaps the most intriguing long-term repercussion is how Palmer's success might influence the next generation of players. Young footballers watching Palmer will see that it's possible to make it to the top through skill, hard work, and seizing opportunities when they come. However, it's important to remember Palmer is still young, his career is just beginning, and there will undoubtedly be challenges ahead. How he handles those challenges will be crucial in determining whether he lives up to his enormous potential. One area where Palmer still has room for improvement is his defensive work. While Bergkamp was known for his work rate off the ball, this is an aspect of Palmer's game that could use some refinement. If he can add this to his arsenal, he'll truly be the complete package. There's also the question of consistency. Can Palmer maintain this level of performance over the course of a full season? Over multiple seasons? Only time will tell. But the early signs are certainly promising. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, the focus should be on enjoying Palmer's performances and watching his development with interest. It's not often that a player comes along with this much potential, and it's a privilege to watch him grow. One thing's for sure, the Premier League is a more exciting place with Cole Palmer in it. Whether he goes on to surpass Bergkamp or carve out his own unique legacy, we're watching the birth of a star. And who knows, in a few years' time, we might be talking about young players being the next Cole Palmer. Now, wouldn't that be something?